Hey everybody, it's Donna Doodlebug Stitcher. Welcome to my channel. Today is Friday the 24th of May and this is Flosstube number 31. It's been about 3 weeks since my last video, so I apologize for my viewers. If you're faithful, welcome back, and if you're brand new to watching me, welcome to my channel. As I talked about in my last video, video number 30, I was recovering from food poisoning that I got at the end of April when I was down in Ocean City, Maryland for our spring Stitchers retreat for our local guild. And I thought I was getting better, and I want to first apologize for my voice, so I'm sorry, it's a little strained. I was starting to feel better, and then I talked about in my last video wanting to, try to get my energy level back up, because with my cancer treatment still going on, I was really run down. And the first weekend of May, my husband had an emergency health crisis. Over the weekend, it was actually that Sunday, I believe it was the 5th. He had a ruptured abscess that ruptured internally and was going septic. And we went to the emergency room Monday morning, and we were god-awful lucky that we got there in time, because if we had let it go maybe even another hour or two, he would have been in full-blown sepsis and probably would have been even more severely ill than he was. So they had to do an emergency procedure to cut out the abscess, which was horrendous for my husband. It was horrendous for me. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And he ended up having to stay in the hospital overnight and got discharged Tuesday afternoon. So that first week of May, I was just, very stressed and everything. And by the end of that week, I was completely, I had no energy. I was getting sick. I started vomiting, but I started getting ill. I just couldn't keep any food in me at all. I was constantly in the bathroom. I was to the point where I was so dehydrated, they almost put me in the hospital. Hence why now I'm having to drink a lot of Gatorade and Powerade and electrolytes, because it's going to take a while for my system to recover from it. I still get sick periodically depending on what I try to eat. So they've given me a lot more pain meds, they've changed my chemo meds to see if that could possibly be causing it. I've just had a rough time. On top of that, with the dehydration and just the lack of energy, I've also developed issues with where I'm lightheaded and I'm dizzy. Every time I've tried to sit and stitch since getting sick, pardon me, I've got to stretch because I've got a pain. Every time I've tried to sit and stitch, I get disoriented, my vision gets blurry, and it makes me nauseous. Kind of how if you're pregnant, well, and I know I'm not pregnant, but if you're pregnant, when you have that first trimester nausea and everything, I can't focus. So if I try to read a chart or anything, it makes me dizzy and I have to lay down. So I've been doing a lot of laying down, watching Netflix on my tablet, not getting a lot of stitching done. So I don't have very much to show you. I do have a couple of things. I have one finish and one thing that I did get a little bit of time to stitch on. I've also had time to go through my my stitching paraphernalia, and so I've been working on updating my X-Stitch app, my X-Stitch Plus app, which I've been working on. So I got a lot of my threads done, and I'm gonna hopefully start adding my charts in. In going through my charts, I found duplicates, that, so I'll give you an example. I basically bought warm water wash not once, but twice. So there'll be a giveaway at some point with that. And I also, in looking at, sorry, just knock something over. I was prepping to start Priscilla and Chelsea, the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. They started a stitch along for Land That I Love from Country Cottage Needleworks. So I was like, oh, I want to stitch that. So I ordered it from 123 Stitch, or I ordered it from a shop on Etsy. I can't remember, one or the other. Well, don't you know that last year I bought it from the attic. McKenna was doing a sale from the attic and I bought it. So I have an extra copy. If anybody is interested in stitching this as part of the stitch along that Priscilla and Chelsea are doing and doesn't have the pattern, contact me. I'm happy to send it to you because, stupid me. So I'm actually grunging up some fabric after I'm finished filming this today. I'm going to be grunging up some fabric to stitch this and a couple other things on. So that'll be my after lunchtime activity. So I highly recommend the Cross Stitch app, to motivate you to go through your stuff, because I found charts that I didn't want anymore, and they're going into a bag that will be going to our Christmas in July sale this summer at our guild, and then whatever doesn't sell gets donated to sell online. And the proceeds go to the guild for project restorations. So I highly encourage you to do that. So let's talk about stitching. So the last time I talked to you, which was 3 weeks ago, I was close to a finish on my daughter's teacher gift for the end of the year, which I chose the Lizzie Kate to my teacher. And I was almost finished in that last video, and I can proudly say that I did finish, and I'll show you that. So, and I was able to chart out her name and the school year, the ending school year when we give it to her this year. So I was really happy with it. And then I also, that was my finish. That was a fun stitch. It was really quick to do. And then before I started getting the dizziness and the nausea and all of that, I started stitching on Blue Flower Quilting Bee. And this I had kitted up when I was at retreat. And I started stitching it. I'm stitching this on 36 count fabric. And that is how far I've gotten on it. So I'll continue to work on that once I've got the nausea under control. We'll start working on that again. And then my plan is to kit up some other projects. So one of the ones that I'm kitting up is from Jordan, who is Jordan X Stitch on Instagram, and you know her as part of Basic Stitches here on Flosstube. And her and her mom are starting the Stitch Along for Firework Lane. And this chart is available on her Etsy shop, which is Little Stitch Girl. And you can purchase it there and print it off. So I'm ready to go with the pattern. I've got my Kreinik that I need for it. And then I'm going to be changing, I'm going to be doing my own floss conversion. So I pulled, when I was sorting out my flosses to put in my X Stitch app, I sorted out all the variations of blue floss that I have from various. I have some Victorian Motto, I've got some Gentle Arts, I've got some Moe's Sale Floss, I've also got some Classic Colorworks. So I'm going to be going through this to pick out blues because I have several patriotic charts that I want to get going on to do. So one of which is the Land That I Love, the Firework Lane, my Wordplay July, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna pull the called for flosses to see if I want to do the July in the called for, if I want to brighten it up a little bit. I'm also going to be doing Yankee Doodle from Lizzie Kate because I want to do the fireworks here that say pop. So I'll be doing that. I'm also waiting on, I've pre-ordered Priscilla Blaine and Kathy Haberman's collaboration for the chalk series, the Star Spangled Swine Farm, I think it's called. So I pre-ordered that, and I have to still get some more black or charcoal fabric for that. And then I've also pre-ordered the new series that's coming out, the Chalkful. And I was lucky enough to be able to get both the tin for the small that Priscilla designed for that, which is really nice. I had to go to, I had to drive like 45 minutes away to the nearest Hobby Lobby to find this, and they had like 6 of them left in stock, and so I got what I needed, and it was on sale, so I ended up only paying like $9 for it plus tax. And then I was able to order offline the easel, and this was the easel finish that was done with that new design at the Midwest Cross Stitchers Spring Retreat. So I was able to order this, and this took like 3 weeks to get. I just got this last week, and so I mean, it was worth the wait. I'm not too, I realized that this is like individual detail, these rust details. I think when I went to Hobby Lobby, they had these, but mine was already on order and in transit to me. And so had I known that this was like this, I probably would have gotten the one at the store because it was a little bit cleaner, but who cares? I'm gonna finish, try to do a similar type finish with, ribbons and flower for each month. And I like the fact that it's metal because I can just put the magnet on it and slap it right on and it'll stick. So when I was there at Hobby Lobby, I also picked up some finishing fabric for some of the patriotic summer pieces. So I got this navy blue check, and I got a black and white check, and I got a bright, like a cherry red, like a traditional 4th of July red and white gingham check. And then I also got this red star check, which I really liked. And then when I was there, I also picked up this little bucket because I thought it was really cute. And I thought that I could do, you don't want to see my receipt. Or maybe you do, I don't know. But I got this really cute bucket, and this was, it was $6.99 and 50% off. So I thought that was a really awesome deal. So I think I ended up paying for that $3.49 for that. I mean, can you beat that? And then I also picked up some ribbon. I got black and white check and red and white check. I'm trying to find a yellow that'll go with that first design of Chockful that isn't too springy yellow. I want more of like a sunflower yellow. So I'm still on the hunt for some more ribbon. I think I might check out when I can get out. Maybe try to get down to Joann's and see what I can find. Oh, and I also picked up another mini olive bucket that I want to do some sort of a finish for smalls with. So, and that was also on sale. That was $3.99 and 50% off. So they had a lot of their table decor, at least when I went to Hobby Lobby, they had a lot of their table decor on sale for 50% off. So it was, well worth it to find like little finishing pieces, especially the metal, the tin, the enamel pieces. So definitely, if you have a Hobby Lobby close to you, definitely check it out. Sadly, I have to report that because I'm so sick, I'm not able to drive, which means I'm housebound again. And I also have to use a wheelchair or a transit chair when I'm out. So like going to the grocery store, stuff like that, I either have to ride in one of those little riding carts or I have to use a transit chair because I don't have the energy to stand or to walk very much. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. I did get some haul. My haul was stuff from Mother's Day. So I had to order I had a hard time finding this. I ended up having to order it from a seller on on eBay. The Perfect Pie Crust floss from Classic Colorworks. Priscilla and Chelsea had recommended this color is great for flesh. And so I wanted to get a skein, and she had several skeins available, so I bought 3 to stock up on. So I got that. That just came today. So I was happy to get that. And then for Mother's Day, I got a few charts and some fabric. So the fabric I got was Lakeside Linens, Pearl Barley, 36 count, and I got a fat quarter of that, which is a nice neutral. I liked it because I thought it would look good if I wanted to grunge it up too. I also ordered some fabric from Cindy Sorley, Cross Stitch Express on Facebook. And it is a 36 count version of the wood grain that Priscilla and Chelsea had gotten from, I think they got it from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I was able to get the same type of fabric, which it's from Fabric Flare, but in a 36 count fabric. And I am also planning to stitch just like Priscilla is stitching. So it's, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I am going to be stitching Silver Needle, Silver Creek Samplers. Silver Needle, where did I get that from? Silver Creek Samplers. This is Freedom Reigns. And there we go. So I'm going to be stitching that on the shiplap. So I'm going to be stitching it long ways so it looks like shiplap. And then I also got the Holiday Hoopla 4th of July from Brenda Gervais. And I think I might do that so that I can put it on that olive bucket. So I have to figure out if I'm going to still do it on the 40 count that it calls for, or if I'm going to do it maybe in 36. I have to measure this opening on this bucket because it calls for this to be finished in a 3-inch. So I need to measure this. I think it's 5 1/4 inches round. So I'll measure that and then determine what size fabric to do it on so that I can finish it to fit on there. And then I got a chart, which I can't show you because it's for my Halloween Smalls Exchange on my one of my Facebook groups. Can't think today, I'm so sorry. And then I also got the new Summer House Trio from Waxing Moon Designs. And in going through my charts, trying to get them all organized by like designer, I did notice that I thought I had the patriotic houses from Waxing Moon, and I don't. I only have the Christmas and I have the winter houses. So I need to get my button gear because I need to get those other ones. And I wanted to start stitching the summer house, this blue house here, because I have a finishing idea for that. So I might start looking at fabrics for that here in my stash today. And then I think that's it. I think I've gotten everything else. I don't think I have anything else waiting to come. So my goal today is to get the fabric scrunched up. I have the coffee and tea on the stove right now steeping so that I can take the tea bags out and put the fabric in. So I'll be doing that here in a bit. And then I might start pulling some flosses out for the July wordplay and see what I want to do. I know, and I've talked about it before, how much I normally don't stitch with Weeks Dye Works, and I have decided that I'm gonna give them another shot. I'm attracted to a lot of the colors that the Weeks threads are available in, the vibrancy of the colors and the variegation of them. So I think I'm going to try stitching with them again. maybe adjust my stitch tension, maybe when I use them, instead of having it on the Q-snap, stitching in hand with them, because I think that plays a part as well, is how much tension I have on the fabric and how tight I pull the floss, because I'm really like, I really like my stitches tight, and I think that could be why I have issues with the weak side works over other overdyes, but we'll wait and see what happens on that. So that's really it at the moment. Like I said, if I can stitch, I usually maybe get an hour in before I start to get the nausea and everything. But if I only get an hour, I only get an hour. I'm not going to put that pressure on myself that, it has to be done. There's certain things that I know I have a timeline for. The Halloween exchange, that's one of them. And so I'm trying to give myself way more time than I need to make sure that it gets done and that it's finished well in advance of when I need it. And that's about it. I want to thank y'all for being patient and for sending me your well wishes. And I get messages on Instagram and emails and things like that, people just checking in on me and making sure I'm still around. So I am here. I'm just, trying to take it easy as much as I can. So in that, I'm going to let you go here, and I'm going to get things buttoned up and cleaned up, because I've got a pile of stuff now surrounding me that needs to be picked up. And then I'm probably going to try to eat something, perhaps. I'm going to see if I can keep anything down. I'll put it that way. And then I'll probably lay down a little bit later. And I hope that you enjoy your holiday weekend this weekend. Hopefully, wherever you are, you'll have some decent weather. My thoughts and prayers go out to anyone that's been in that central Midwest up into the Northeast that's been affected the last week by these awful storms. We had a little bit of a bit of that here on the East Coast yesterday. We had some pretty severe thunderstorms go through, but they went through really quickly. It was like a really fast moving storm, 50, 60 miles an hour, and it came and went within maybe an hour or two. It was in and out, but it was lightning strikes and thunder, and down in DC they had what they think was a tornado yesterday. So luckily not here, but to those of you that have been affected, my prayers to you. Please be safe. Please get up into higher ground. Save your belongings as best you can. If you haven't been affected by the floods, heed the warnings for those tornadoes. When those sirens go off, go get in shelter. Be safe. Things can be replaced, but your life can't. So, and I'm in the situation that I'm in, I am well aware that your life can go in an instant. So just be safe. That's all I wish for any of you, because I love you all. So, but have a wonderful holiday weekend if you can. Stay dry, stay safe, stay warm, and just be with your family and hold the ones that you love very close, because they're what's most important. So on that note, I will say goodbye, and I hope to see you back real soon. Take care. Bye.